Hey everyone, it's Ryan from Snowmen. We're going to do a little video here about the websites we use for tracking weather and the software that we use for tracking weather. We've gotten a lot of messages about that, people asking, what do you use, what do you like to use? So there's many more out there that I'm going to cover. These are just the ones I use, and I'm just going to go through why I use them and why I like them. So first we're going to start out with just simple radar websites. Two of my favorite are from the National Weather Service and the NOAA. Okay, so the first one is from the National Weather Service. This is the National Mosaic. It's called the Full Resolution Loop. I like this one a lot of times. It's if you want a very wide view of the storm. Sometimes you just want to see it big and you want to see it in a high resolution. You can zoom in if you want to zoom in, like here on the Chicagoland area, and you can zoom in closer, and it'll if you want to go back out and zoom into another area, you just pull out and then click on another area and zoom in, and it's all animated. You can do auto update, and you can change the speed and various other things. One thing is if you're out wide like this, it does not auto update. So you would actually have to go up to the top and hit the refresh button in order to make this window refresh and upload the latest image. Okay, so this next one is also from the National Weather Service, and it's called their Interactive Radar. This one, they keep changing from time to time. They're still like updating it and everything, and they add new things. But it's really nice. You can do a very wide view. You can animate it here. You just press the play. You could zoom in and out actually with your mouse wheel or the plus and minus in the corner. Sometimes it takes a while to load it. You'll see little sections. It has to load each individual radar when you're scrolling around. But it's nice that you can be able to just scroll around anywhere and it'll load in and it'll be real-time radar. And you can also go full screen on it. So you click the little button in the corner there, now you're full screen. Very nice feature, and it's a pretty good high-resolution radar. And like I said, you can zoom with it, so you can zoom in really well with this. We're here in the northern suburbs of Chicago in the Crystal Lake area, and you can actually zoom in pretty close to even see like street names and stuff. So not that it's really useful to be in that close ever on a radar, but you know, the functionality of being this close in, and then you can just go all the way wide out in one whole screen and it's all there. That's kind of nice. I mean, look at how wide you can go. So that's kind of a nice feature, and it's from the National Weather Service, so the radar is more updated, and then you just click the X to go back out to the regular screen. Okay, so those are just two of the radar sites that I use. I really don't use, I know there's other ones, you know, a lot of these local TV channels will have radar on their site, and I tend to just favor the National Weather Service radar sites. Also, most of those National Weather sites you can get radar if you keep updating it, about 3 minutes old, which is pretty fast. It's the fastest that I've found. A lot of these sites that don't actually own the radars, there's a delay with the data getting to them. So sometimes you have 5 to 10 minute old radar. And well, I come from the storm spotting world. I'm a trained storm spotter. We use radar heavily in the summer for you know, tornadoes and severe thunderstorms. So having really up-to-date radar is critical in those situations. All right, now we're going to talk about forecasting. You know, a lot of people turn on the news and they look at the 10-day forecast or the 7-day forecast or whatever they have. I'm going to show you a couple sites where you can actually look at the forecasts for yourself. So these forecast sites are the same basic data that the meteorologists get and then create their forecasts from. So let's look at a couple of those now. Okay, so this first forecast website is from the National Center for Atmospheric Research. And this is for a more long-range forecast. It doesn't do high resolution close up to your area, but you can basically see the major storms that'll be coming through. This goes out as far as 192 hours. We'll show you an example here. So when you go to this website, what you want to do is just go down here to loop all times. And then like we'll just show, for example, precipitation. So we'll go to the precipitation tab. It automatically starts animating and loading all the frames. So you can just hit stop and then it'll show you the date you're on, and you just continue. You can hit next or the arrow keys on your keyboard, and it'll show you the basic moisture patterns that are going through. And that's how you can tell if there's storms. So like right here is the final frame, and that's 192 hours out, and you can see kind of where it thinks moisture is going to be. The closer you get to the date and time, this changes. So this is updated, I believe, every 6 hours. And so it'll change out. The further it gets, the less accurate it is. But it's usually pretty accurate within a day or two. Then it's pretty good. So you can skip back and forth, and it'll tell you the time up there at the top and the date. And then if you go back, that just shows you moisture. You can actually go back and look at what are the temperatures going to be. So to find out, hey, this storm's coming in, but is it going to be cold enough to snow out? So you can take this and then you just go through. I'm just using the arrow keys on the keyboard just to scroll through the dates and times. And then if you go back, you can actually click on precipitation type, which is another nice one, because it'll actually show you the rain snow line. This is never really accurate, but here's our last frame here. You can see that there's a rain snow line. The red indicates like an ice storm, and I believe the yellow is like sleet or freezing rain. So that's a nice one too, because you can just kind of see. I always compile all of them and kind of just look at them and try and figure out based on that. And like I said, this is a model that is pretty accurate. I've had pretty good success with this particular forecast model. Okay, so our next forecast website is from the NOAA, and it's called the High Resolution Rapid Refresh model. And this one is really nice for close up, but it's very accurate as far as within like 12 to 24 hours. I'll just show you simple how to use this. You just go over to the side here. They'll show you an hourly, and it can rotate through, or sub-hourly. There's an operational one and an experimental. A lot of times I use the experimental. We'll just use that here. So we'll go to sub-hourly, which means it's twice an hour. It's an image twice an hour, that an image loop that it creates. You want to go over to the top one here and just click loop, and it'll loop all those frames as far out as it has loaded in there. It sometimes takes a minute to load because it's higher resolution. So you can see up here at the top, you can pause it and you can go forward. Let it load all the frames in first. So here we go, I just paused it. And then you can, when you play it, you can actually change the speeds too. There's this little slider bar that you can actually slow it down with if you want. And then down here, like right now, there's 33 frames. And so you can see it going through each one. You can stop it on one and pause it. But this shows you a little more detailed and looks more like radar, but this does not actually happen. This is forecast of what is going to happen. next we're going to talk about software. I've tried several different software. There was one called Weather Defender. I didn't like that because it wasn't, the radar images were usually about 10 minutes old. That was the best it was doing. And I wasn't happy with that. And it was a very clunky program. It took a lot of hard drive and a lot of resources, system resources, just to run it. So and that was a subscription one. I actually went away from that several years ago. But I had it for a good, I don't know, 5-10 years maybe, and then just got tired of it. Then I found one called GR Level 3, and then it's also got another one called GR2 Analyst. So these programs are made by Michael Scott Gibson of Gibson Ridge Software. He developed these programs, and the nice thing about the Gibson Ridge programs is you don't have a subscription, you just pay once, and he lets you put it on multiple computers. So you can put it on all the computers you own, you don't have to pay extra. As well as his software is, it gets feeds directly from the National Weather Service. So literally you have that same 3-minute-old radar images, which is nice because it's very updated. And it's, you can add your own layers and all this stuff of, different data, weather data. So it's a very nice program to use. That's the main program that I use in the truck. If you see the shots of the computer, if it's not the National Weather Service, it's the Gibson Ridge software. The two programs, the main difference is GR Level 3 is Level 3 radar, and GR2 Analyst, which is the upgraded program, costs a little more, but it can do a little more. That one is Level 2 radar. And that one does different things like 3D imaging, and it's very cool, which I'll demonstrate that one. Basically, GR Level 3 is like GR2 Analyst, just kind of a step down version. Okay, so here's what it looks like when you open the program. It loads up your local radar. Then you do have to go up here, and it's called Start Polling. So you hit this little earth in the computer, and that will actually start loading in the data. So it's like you got to turn it on. So you can see it just all popped in right there. If you're on a mobile connection, it may go a little slower. Sometimes this program, if you have a slower mobile connection, just use GR Level 3, not GR2 Analyst, because this is a data hog and it takes a long time to download all this data. Now, we're not going to go into the details of setting up this program. There's a lot involved with setting it up. There's various websites that'll show you how to do it, and that's not the intent of this video. Maybe someday I will do a video on that. The intent of this video is just to introduce you to the various software that I use. So if we look over here to the bottom corner, it's called the Place File Manager. I can actually turn off the various layers, and I can turn them back on. Like there's the temperatures, and they have various storm reports and various weather outlook markings and stuff. You click up there and it'll start animating it. It's called the Archiver, so you just click on that, and then you hit the play button, and then it'll start moving it. This one is very nice. You can zoom in. You can either hit the plus or just scroll the mouse button and it'll zoom in. And it has a few of the major roads. You can actually put layers in that show the exact roads more detailed of your county. You can load that in. So up here is the different tools you can use. You can actually, if I pause it here, I can do a cross section of this particular storm by just going like this. It'll pull up another window, and this will show me the height of the clouds or of the moisture. So it'll show me like how much moisture is in the atmosphere and how high it goes up, which is kind of neat. This is more utilized in the summer for severe storms. They go a lot higher than maybe a snowstorm would. And here's a 3D model, and you can actually, you know, pan around and zoom in, and it'll show me a 3D view of that section of the storm that I selected. So there's a ton of stuff that you can actually do with this program. And like I said, I can't go into everything and how to set it up. But if you're into weather stuff as well as plowing, this is a program to get used to. And this also has, it will hook up to GPS. So it'll show you a little icon on the screen of where you're at in relation to the storm if you have like a GPS hooked up to your computer in your car. You can also pull up the warnings window, which shows you any of the warnings all around the US. And there's a lot of other things too, but this one is a very high resolution, very detailed, and that's why it's my favorite. You can't pull out all the way wide to the whole US, but you can skip around. Like I just clicked on the Milwaukee radar where it shows the blue letters and the little dots. You just click on the dot next to the blue letters and it'll take you around to the next radar. Once again, when you open up a new radar, you have to hit the animate button and you have to hit play, and it'll start playing for you. So this program, there's a little bit of a learning curve with it possibly, but it is worth it if you've got it. Like I said, 3-minute-old radar, which is really nice, and you can set the auto update to how often you want it to update. You know, it can check every minute if you want. This is one that I highly recommend, so check out their website. Okay, now for you app-based people, some of you guys don't even probably know what a computer is anymore. You're into your cell phones and your apps. I'm more into the computer side of things. I love having a laptop. I can do so much more on a laptop and a computer than I can on a tablet or a cell phone. I've tested out a lot of these apps, okay, these radar apps. Most of the stuff on the cell phones is garbage in my opinion. I have found one that I think closely resembles the Gibson Ridge software that I just showed you, and this is called Pykl3 Radar. This app is really nice as far as getting you updated images. It's nice because you can actually zoom all the way out and see the whole US, and then zoom in on a specific radar, and it's seamless. It'll automatically load. You don't have to reload everything. It has all the warning windows and all the markings of the warnings like the Gibson Ridge software has. So check that out if you're looking for a nice app that updates frequently. Okay, so that's just what I use. I'm not saying you may have ones that you like better. You know, I'm not saying that there's not anything else to use out there. I showed you what I like and why I like it. You know, leave in the comments below if you have one based on what you've seen that you're like, oh no, it just blows these away. Let me hear about it. I'd be interested to learn of a new program. There are ones that I'm sure I haven't heard of. So thanks for watching this little video, and we got a lot more episodes coming soon. I know that's the biggest asked question we have, and we're actually filming our 5th season now, so we've got a lot coming. It just takes a long time to edit them, but we will get them out there, and you know, as soon as possible. We just continue to keep putting them out. So thanks for watching, and I hope you subscribe and like our videos.